The Universal Exchange had not crashed in 9,000 years. Every species in the galaxy knew this fact. They taught it to their children. They carved it into monuments. The market was perfect. Perfect things did not break. Kang Junho did not know this when he stepped off the transport ship. He was too busy looking at the screens. Thousands of them covered the walls of the central exchange station. Numbers moved across them in gentle waves. Green lines rose slowly. Red lines fell slowly. Everything moved like water in a calm lake. "Yeah, this is wrong," Junho whispered. Yoon Hana stood beside him. She was his partner and the smartest person he knew. She had built computer programs that could predict chaos. Now she stared at the screens with her mouth open. "There is no chaos here," she said. "The numbers move too smoothly. This is not natural." Park Woojin laughed. He was the youngest of the three, only 28 years old. Back on Earth, people called him a meme economist. His job was to understand why humans did stupid things with money. "Maybe aliens are just better at this than us," he said. Juno shook his head. "No, something is missing." They had traveled for months to reach this place. Earth had finally become a full member of the Galactic Council after 50 years of waiting. 847 species now traded on the Universal Exchange. Humanity was the newest member. The Council expected humans to watch and learn. The United Nations had chosen Junho, Hana, and Woojin as Earth's first licensed brokers. The selection committee wanted unconventional thinkers. They wanted people who could adapt. They did not want careful people who followed rules. A tall creature approached them. It had gray skin and 4 arms. Its translator device spoke in a flat voice. "Welcome, humans. I am Arbiter Velqueen. I oversee market regulation. You may observe the exchange, but please do not interfere with trading operations." "We have full trading rights," Junho said. "The council approved our license." Velqueen made a sound like bubbles popping. The translator said, "Yes, you may trade. But your species is new. You do not understand how the market works. It would be wise to watch first." Hannah smiled politely. "Of course, we are here to learn." Velqueen led them through the station. Aliens of every shape moved around them. Some walked on legs. Some floated in liquid tanks. Some were made of light. All of them traded calmly. No one shouted. No one ran. No one looked worried. "The Universal Exchange has operated for 12,000 years, Velqueen explained. "Every species calculates value using the same methods. We measure resources. We measure production capacity. We measure demand. The formulas are proven. They do not fail." "What about speculation?" Woojin asked. The translator paused. Then it said, "I do not understand this word, speculation. Betting on what might happen. Buying something because you think others will want it later?" Velqueen's forearms trembled. "This sounds like gambling." "We do not gamble with the economy. The economy is serious." "Right," Woojin said. "Very serious." They reached the human trading floor. It was a small room with 12 workstations. The council had given them this space as a courtesy. The walls were white. The furniture was simple. A window showed the endless stars outside. "This will be your base of operations," Velqueen said. "Our systems will monitor your trades. If you have questions, you may contact my office. I recommend reading the basic market guide. It is only 4,000 pages." After Velqueen left, Junho sat down at a workstation. He pulled up the market data. Every graph showed the same thing. Steady growth. Predictable patterns. No surprises. "They trade like machines," he said. "No emotion at all." Hannah started her own analysis. Her fingers moved fast across the screen. "Look at this. Every species uses the same valuation model. They all agree on what things are worth. There is no disagreement. How is that possible?" Woojin asked. "On Earth, people fight about prices every day." "Because on Earth, people are irrational," Hannah said. "We buy things we do not need. We pay too much because we are excited. We sell too cheap because we are scared. But these aliens are perfectly logical. They never make emotional decisions." Junho stood up. He walked to the window and looked at the stars. Somewhere out there, 800 species conducted business without fear, without greed, without madness. They had built an economy so stable that it had not crashed in 90 centuries, and Yunho saw the flaw. "I've never had a bubble," he said. "What?" Hannah asked. "A bubble. When everyone buys something because everyone else is buying it, when the price goes up because people believe it will go up, it has nothing to do with real value. It is pure belief." Eugene understood first. His eyes went wide. "They do not know what FOMO is." "What is FOMO?" Hannah asked. "They're missing out. When you buy something stupid because you are scared of being left behind, it is the most powerful force in human economics." Junho turned back to his team. A slow smile spread across his face. They built a perfect system. Every part works exactly as designed. But perfect systems have no defenses. They never needed them. "What are you thinking?" Hannah asked, but she already knew. She had worked with Junho for 5 years. She knew that smile. "I am thinking," Junho said, "that they have never seen a short squeeze. They do not know what a pump and dump looks like. They have never experienced a meme stock." Eugene started laughing. He could not stop. The sound echoed in the small room. Hannah did not laugh. She looked at the screens showing the perfect market. She thought about 12,000 years of stability. She thought about 800 species who trusted the system completely. "If we do this," she said, "we could break everything." Junho nodded. "Yes, we could." He sat back down at his workstation. His hands rested on the controls. Somewhere outside, trillions of credits flowed through the most perfect economic system ever created. "Let us start small," he said. "Let us see what happens when we introduce a little chaos." The universal exchange had not crashed in 9,000 years, but humanity had just arrived. And humans were very good at breaking perfect things. 3 months passed. The human trading team grew from 3 people to 12. They worked from their small office on the central exchange station. The aliens still thought they were harmless. Imsujin arrived on a Tuesday. She was 40 years old and had spent her life studying why humans made terrible decisions with money. She called it behavioral economics. Other scientists called it madness research. "I read your report," Sujin told Junho on her first day. "You have discovered something important. The aliens do not lie," never Junho confirmed. "They cannot even understand the concept. When they say a stock is valuable, they believe it. When they buy something, they plan to keep it forever. And they never create artificial demand. They do not know how. The idea of buying something to make others buy it does not exist in their languages." Sujin smiled. It was not a friendly smile. "Then we can do anything we want." So the plan started simply. Woojin spent a week searching through the market database. He was looking for the most worthless thing he could find. He found it on page 40,000 of the commodity listings. "There is a mineral called velarite," Woojin announced to the team. "One species uses it to make decorative pottery. Nobody else wants it. The price has not changed in 800 years. "Perfect," Sujin said. "We will make it valuable." Anna looked worried. "How?" "It is objectively worthless. The aliens will not buy something without logical reasons. We will give them logical reasons," Junho said. "Human reasons." The scheme was elegant in its simplicity. The human team began spreading messages across Earth's social networks. These networks had recently connected to the galactic communication grid. Billions of humans could now talk to aliens, and billions of humans loved to participate in stupid economic games. The messages called velarite by a new name, Void Crystal. They claimed humans found it spiritually meaningful. They said it reminded them of Earth's oceans. They created fake religious ceremonies around it. They posted pictures of void crystal jewelry. None of it was true, but none of it was technically false either. Humans really did buy the mineral. They really did wear it as jewelry. They really did find it meaningful. They just did all these things because other humans told them it would be funny within 1 week. Human demand for void crystal increased by 300%, the aliens noticed. Their computers tracked all buying patterns. They saw millions of humans suddenly wanting a mineral that had been worthless for centuries. The data was clear. The demand was real. Why do humans want this mineral? An alien trader asked Wujin. It is spiritual, Wujin said with a straight face. Very important to our culture. The trader did not understand spirituality, but it understood supply and demand. If humans wanted void crystal, then void crystal had value. The trader began buying. Other traders saw the purchase. They checked their own data. The demand was confirmed. They also began buying. The price of void crystal doubled in 3 days. Then it doubled again. Alien traders competed to purchase a mineral that had been worthless for 800 years. They did not question the demand. The numbers were correct. The market did not lie. Arbiter Velquin watched from his office. He had served as market regulator for 800 years. He had seen every kind of trade and every kind of mistake, but he had never seen anything like this. The pattern is wrong, he told his assistant. The demand appeared too quickly. There is no production anchor. Ace. No new technology. No logical reason? The demand is real, his assistant said. The data confirms it. Yes, Velquin stared at the rising graph. That is what troubles me. On the 14th day, the price of void crystal peaked. It had increased by 400%. Alien traders across the galaxy held millions of units. They expected to sell them to humans for even higher prices. Junho gathered his team. 12 humans sat in the small office. They looked at the screens showing void crystal's price. No. Junho said all 12 humans sold their void crystal holdings at the same time. They sold everything they had bought in the first week. They sold at 400% profit, but that was not the real damage. The real damage came from the message this sent. Humans stopped buying void crystal. All of them. Every human across the galaxy suddenly lost interest. The spiritual meaning was gone. The cultural importance vanished. Void crystal became worthless rocks again. The alien traders did not understand. The demand was real yesterday. Why was it gone today? Their computers could not explain it. Their formulas did not account for things becoming meaningless overnight. The price crashed. Alien traders lost fortunes. They were left holding millions of worthless rocks that they had paid premium prices to acquire. Velquin summoned Junho to his office. The old arbiter sat behind his desk, his gray skin darker than usual. What did you do? We traded, Junho said. Every transaction was legal. You can check. I did check. Everything follows the rules. But something is wrong. You created demand and then destroyed it. We did not create anything. Humans wanted void crystal. Then we stopped wanting it. Desires change. Velquin's forearms trembled. Desires do not change this fast. Not without reason. Junho leaned forward. Arbiter, I will tell you something important. Human desires often have no reason. We want things because others want them. We stop wanting things because we get bored. Our entire economy runs on feelings that change like weather. That is madness. Yes, it is. But it is also how we work. You cannot predict us because we do not predict ourselves. Velquin was silent for a long time. Finally, he asked, Will you do this again? Junho stood up. He walked to the door. Before leaving, he turned back to the ancient arbiter. We did not come here to destroy your market, but we will not pretend to be something we are not. Humans are chaos. We always have been. Your perfect system invited us inside, and now you will have to live with what that means. He left the office. Behind him, Velquin stared at the screens showing the void crystal crash. 9,000 years of perfect stability had just ended, and the humans were only getting started. News of the void crystal scheme spread across Earth. Millions of people wanted to participate in the next one. They called themselves chaos brokers. They saw the alien market as the greatest game ever invented. Sujin warned the team that night. We started something we cannot control. Other humans will try this without us. They will be less careful. Less patient. Is that bad? Wujin asked. I do not know, Sujin admitted. But I know this. The aliens built their economy on trust. They trusted that everyone would be rational. We just proved that trust was a mistake. Hannah looked out the window at the stars. Somewhere out there, 800 species were trying to understand what had just happened to their money. The first crash in 9,000 years, she said quietly. And it happened because of fake spiritual meaning attached to worthless rocks. Gunho laughed. Welcome to human economics. The Galactic Council called an emergency meeting. Representatives from 400 species gathered in the Grand Assembly Hall. They had come to discuss the Void Crystal incident. They wanted answers. Arbiter Velquin presented his findings. The humans executed every trade within legal boundaries. They did not lie. They did not steal. They simply changed their minds. Changed their minds? A delegate asked. How can changing minds destroy wealth? The wealth was never real, Velquin explained. The Void Crystal had no value. We gave it value because we believed humans wanted it. When they stopped wanting it, the value disappeared. The assembly hall filled with confused sounds. Different species expressed confusion in different ways. Some whistled. Some flashed colors. Some released chemicals into the air. A small floating creature spoke through its translator. You are saying the humans created value from nothing and then uncreated it. Yes, how is this possible? Value comes from resources and production. It cannot appear and disappear based on feelings. Human economics disagrees, Velquin said. The council decided to investigate. They assigned a hive mind species called the Collective to study human trading patterns. The Collective had 12,000 connected minds working as one. They had solved mathematical problems that other species could not imagine. They were confident they could understand humans. They were wrong. Cho Wanji arrived at the Central Exchange Station 2 weeks later. She was 26 years old and worked as an economist on Earth. The council had summoned her to explain her species. She was not sure she could. Why do humans buy things they do not need? The Collective asked through its speaker unit. EUNG thought carefully. Sometimes we buy things to feel happy. Sometimes we buy things because our friends bought them. Sometimes we buy things to show that we have money. These reasons make no sense, I know. Please explain the concept of meme stock. Yanji spent 3 hours trying. She used simple words. She drew pictures. She gave examples. The Collective listened to everything. Then it processed the information through 12,000 minds. We do not understand, the Collective concluded. You are describing a situation where value comes from jokes. This violates economic principles. It violates your economic principles, Yunji said. Human economics is different. We are not always rational. All intelligent species are rational, Yunji smiled sadly. You have not spent much time with humans. The Collective tried to build prediction models. They studied human behavior for weeks. They analyzed millions of data points. They created formulas that should have predicted human trading patterns. Every formula failed. Humans did not maximize profit consistently. They sometimes lost money on purpose to prove a point. They bought things because they were funny. They sold things because they were angry. Their decisions came from emotions that changed moment to moment. The humans are broken, the Collective reported to the council. Their decision-making systems do not function correctly. They cannot be predicted because they do not follow any pattern. Then how did they survive as a species? A delegate asked. Unknown. They should have destroyed themselves long ago. While the council investigated, the chaos continued to spread. News of the Void Crystal scheme had traveled across Earth. Millions of humans wanted to join the game. They formed trading groups online. They called themselves Chaos Brokers, Jay. UNHO watched this happen with growing concern. He spoke to Sujin in their office late one night. The Chaos Brokers are not careful, he said. They do not understand what they are doing. They understand perfectly, Sujin replied. They want to make money and cause trouble. These are humanity's 2 favorite activities. Could destroy everything. Yes, they could. The first coordinated attack came without warning. A group of chaos brokers had identified every company owned by species that voted against humanity's full council membership. There were 47 such species. They controlled thousands of businesses. On a single day, millions of humans invested in these companies. The stocks surged upward. Alien traders saw the sudden interest and assumed something had changed. Maybe the humans knew something they did not. They also bought. Prices rose by 30% in 1 hour. Then the humans sold everything. All of them. All at once, the crash was immediate. Stocks fell below their original values. The 47 species lost billions. Their economies shook. Arbiter Velquin demanded a meeting with Junho. The old Arbiter was not angry. He was confused. Which was worse? You attacked species that opposed you, Velquin said. You used money as a weapon. I did not organize this, Junho replied. Other humans did. I cannot control my entire species. But you started it. The Void Crystal scheme showed them it was possible. Chun could not deny this. Yes, I started it. But this was always going to happen. When you invited humanity into your market, you invited chaos. Velquin was quiet for a long moment. Then he asked a question that had bothered him for weeks. Why do you hurt yourselves to hurt others? The humans who sold those stocks also took losses. They sacrificed their own money to damage our economies. Why would anyone do this? Junho searched for the right words. Humans have a concept called spite. We will harm ourselves if it means harming someone who wronged us. It feels good. It feels like justice. That is not justice. That is madness. Arbiter, to humans, madness and justice are often the same thing. Velquin dismissed Junho. He sat alone in his office for hours, thinking about what he had heard. For 800 years, he had believed that all intelligent species were fundamentally similar. They wanted prosperity. They wanted stability. They wanted predictable outcomes. But humans were different. They wanted chaos. Not because chaos benefited them, but because chaos felt right. They had evolved in an unpredictable world and had learned to love unpredictability itself. The Council faced an impossible choice. They could expel humans from the Universal Exchange and lose access to their chaos prediction technology. Or they could keep humans and watch their perfect system crumble. Neither option was good. Both options led to the same place. The galaxy was changing. Humanity had arrived. And nothing would ever be perfectly stable again. Outside Velquin's window, trading continued on the exchange floor. The graphs no longer showed gentle waves. They showed sharp spikes and sudden drops. The market moved like a living thing now, unpredictable and dangerous. The aliens watched the numbers with fear in their hearts. They had built paradise. And humanity had brought them something they never wanted. They had brought them the future. 6 months after humanity joined the Universal Exchange, the galaxy was different. Several species had stopped trading entirely. They could not handle the stress. The perfect system they trusted had become unpredictable and terrifying. Li Doyan was 23 years old. He was a hacker before he became a trader. Now he spent his days measuring chaos. I created something new, he told the team one morning. I call it the Chaos Index. It measures how unstable the market has become. He showed them a graph on his screen. A red line climbed steadily upward. When this line passes the critical threshold, even humans cannot predict what will happen. The system becomes truly random. Where is the line now? Junho asked. Getting close. It rises every day. The chaos had spread beyond human control. Alien traders tried to adapt. They hired human consultants to help them understand the new market. Some consultants gave good advice. Some gave bad advice on purpose. Some gave advice that contradicted other consultants because humans could not agree on anything. One species tried to copy chaos investing. They studied human behavior for months. They learned about meme stocks and short squeezes and spite purchases. Then they tried to execute their own scheme. It failed immediately. Human traders saw the attempt and exploited it. The species lost everything. Their logical attempts at irrationality were predictable. Real chaos could not be faked. Hannah became famous during this time. Her chaos prediction models were not perfect, but they were better than anything the aliens had. The council offered her incredible wealth to share the models. Governments begged. Corporations threatened. She refused every offer. "If I give them the models, they will try to eliminate chaos," she explained to Junho. "But chaos is not a bug. Chaos is humanity. We cannot exist without it. You are protecting chaos itself. I am protecting us. The moment they can predict us, we become ordinary. We lose our advantage," Junho understood. Humanity's power came from being unknowable. If aliens could predict human behavior, humans became just another species. Chaos was their shield and their weapon. The market swung wildly now. A joke on a human comedy show caused a 12% drop in the transportation sector. Humans found a company's name funny, and billions of credits vanished overnight. The aliens could not understand. They could never understand. Arbiter Velquin prepared his report for the council. He spent weeks collecting data and analyzing patterns. The conclusion was clear, even if the council did not want to hear it. "The Universal Exchange will collapse within 2 years," he announced to the Grand Assembly. "Human trading patterns are destabilizing the entire system. I recommend immediate expulsion of all human traders." The vote failed. 300 species voted against expulsion. They could not afford to lose access to human markets. They could not afford to anger the chaos brokers. They had become dependent on human traders to navigate the chaos. The cure had become part of the disease. Bainari was a 45-year-old anthropologist. She had nothing to do with trading. She lived on a small alien world, studying cultural differences between species. She had never bought a stock in her life. On a quiet evening, she posted a message to her social network. She was tired and bored and not thinking clearly. "I wonder what happens if everyone sells everything tomorrow, lol." She meant nothing by it. It was a joke, a passing thought. She posted it and went to sleep, but the galaxy never slept. Alien artificial intelligence systems had been programmed to monitor human communications. After the Void Crystal incident, every species wanted early warning of the next scheme. They scanned billions of human messages. Looking for signals, they found Neri's post. The AI systems flagged it as significant. The message suggested coordinated selling. The word everyone implied large-scale action. The timestamp indicated it would happen tomorrow. Automated trading systems activated. These systems had been built by aliens trying to match human speed. They were designed to react instantly to any threat. They reacted. Across the galaxy, alien traders received alerts. A human had predicted mass selling. The chaos brokers were planning something. The smart move was to sell first, before prices dropped. One species sold their holdings, then another. Then another. The selling created more selling. Prices dropped. The drops triggered more automated systems. More selling followed. Doyen watched his chaos index spike past the critical threshold. He tried to warn Junho, but it was too late. "It is happening," he said. "The cascade has begun." In 12 hours, 40% of the Universal Exchange's value evaporated. Trillions of credits disappeared. Economies across 800 worlds crumbled. Species that had been wealthy for millennia came poor overnight. And it all started because one tired anthropologist made a joke. Junho stood on the exchange floor, watching the numbers fall. Aliens ran in every direction. Some screamed. Some collapsed. Some simply stared at the screens, unable to process what they saw. An alien trader approached him. The creature's skin had turned gray with stress. It had lost everything in the crash. "Are you happy now?" it asked. John shook his head slowly. "You do not understand. We did not do this. This was not planned. One human made a joke, and your automated systems destroyed your own economy. Lies. Humans coordinated this attack." "No, that is the terrible truth. We did not coordinate anything. One person spoke, and your fear did the rest. You built systems to predict us, and those systems destroyed you." The alien made a sound of pure despair. "Then how do we survive? How do we live in a galaxy where a single joke can destroy everything? Junho looked at the screens. Red numbers cascaded down like rain. The perfect system had finally broken, not from a planned attack, but from the shadow of one. You learn to live with uncertainty, he said. You accept that perfect prediction is impossible. You build systems that can bend without breaking. We do not know how, I know. Junho turned to face the alien directly. But we do. Humanity has been living with chaos since we crawled out of the oceans. This is not our first crash. It is just your first. Across the galaxy, beings who had never known fear learned it that night. They learned that stability was an illusion. They learned that control was a fantasy. They learned that in a universe with humans, anything could happen at any time for any reason or no reason at all. The universal exchange had finally crashed. 9,000 years of perfection had ended. Because one woman typed 3 words as a joke, and somewhere on a small alien world, Bainari woke up, checked her messages, and discovered that she had accidentally destroyed the galactic economy. Oh no, she whispered. Staring at her screen, it was perhaps the greatest understatement in human history. 1 year after humanity joined the Galactic Council, the Universal Exchange was dead. The old economy had collapsed completely. Trillions of credits had vanished. Several species faced extinction from economic collapse alone. The Council blamed humanity. Emergency sessions met every day to discuss punishment. Some species demanded war. Others wanted permanent expulsion from the galaxy. The anger was understandable. Humanity had destroyed something that took 12,000 years to build. But something strange had happened during the collapse. While aliens panicked, humans adapted. While alien economies crumbled, human traders found opportunities. While other species lost everything, humanity somehow survived. They did not just survive, they thrived. Jun watched this with wonder and concern. We are making money from the disaster we caused, he told his team. The aliens will hate us even more. They already hate us completely, Woojin said. More hate does not change anything. Sujin looked at the data on her screen. The aliens cannot function without stable predictions. But humans have never had stable predictions. We grew up with market crashes. We evolved during economic disasters. Chaos is our natural environment. So what do we do now? Hannah asked. It was Shin Menji who answered. She was 38 years old and had joined the team 3 months earlier. She specialized in economic reconstruction. Before coming to space, she had helped rebuild economies after 4 different financial crises on Earth. We helped them, Menji said. Everyone stared at her. Even Junho, who rarely showed surprise, looked confused. We helped the beings who want to destroy us, Woojin asked. Yes, because they cannot rebuild without us. Their system failed because it could not handle chaos. Only humans know how to build systems that survive chaos. Why would we help them? Minji smiled. Because this is how humanity has always succeeded. We break things, and then we fix them better than before. We cause problems, and then we sell the solutions. This is not kindness. This is business. The Council did not want to listen to humans, but they had no choice. Every species had tried to restart the market. Every attempt failed. The old formulas no longer worked. Logic alone could not rebuild trust. Minji presented humanity's proposal at the Grand Assembly. 800 species watched as one human explained how to fix what humans had broken. Your old system was perfect, Mingi began. That was the problem. Perfect systems have no flexibility. They cannot absorb shocks because they never experience shocks. When humanity arrived, we were the first shock in 9,000 years. The system shattered instantly. You admit responsibility? A delegate said. Yes, we broke your economy. But your economy was already fragile. If we had not broken it, something else would have eventually. A disease, a war, a natural disaster. Your perfect system was waiting to fail. We just made it fail sooner. Arbiter Velquin spoke from his position. What do you propose? Minji displayed diagrams on the central screen. We build a new exchange. not based on pure logic, but on managed chaos. We include circuit breakers that stop trading when prices move too fast. We create cooling-off periods after major swings. We regulate speculation without eliminating it. You want to control chaos? Another delegate asked, you want to live with chaos? There is a difference. Pure control is impossible. But we can create boundaries. We can build walls that bend instead of break. Humans have done this for centuries. We call them financial regulations. The debate lasted for 3 days. Many species refused to trust humanity. They wanted revenge, not partnership. They wanted the old perfect system restored, but Velquin supported the proposal. He had spent a year studying humans. He understood what most species did not. Chaos is not a flaw in humanity, he told the assembly. It is their nature. They evolved in chaos. They thrived in chaos. And now they have shared that chaos with us. We can hate them for it, or we can learn from them. I choose to learn. His words changed the vote. The proposal passed by a narrow margin. Humanity would rebuild the galactic economy. Work began immediately. Human economists, traders, and regulators spread across the galaxy. They taught aliens about risk management. They explained why small crashes prevented big crashes. They demonstrated how to build systems that expected failure instead of denying it. The new exchange launched 6 months later. They called it the hybrid market. It was volatile, but stable. Prices moved in waves that sometimes surged and sometimes crashed, but never completely collapsed. The walls bent, but they did not break. John returned to teaching after the transition. He led a class for young alien traders who wanted to understand the new market. They gathered in a large room with screens covering every wall. The old system tried to eliminate uncertainty, Junho told them. It failed because uncertainty cannot be eliminated. Life is uncertain. The universe is uncertain. Pretending otherwise is just denial. A young alien raised its appendage. Then how do we succeed? If nothing is certain, how do we make good decisions? You accept that your decisions might be wrong. You plan for failure. You build extra resources for emergencies. You expect the unexpected. That sounds exhausting. Junho laughed. It is. Humans are very tired people. We live with constant stress and anxiety. But we also adapt faster than anyone. Our weakness is our strength, another student asked. Do you regret what happened? The crash? The destruction? Junho thought about the question carefully. He thought about the species that had suffered. He thought about the economies that had failed. He thought about the anger and fear and pain that humanity had caused. Yes and no, he finally said. I regret the suffering. I do not regret the change. Your old system was beautiful, but dead. Nothing grew. Nothing evolved. Nothing surprised anyone for 9,000 years. That is not stability. That is stagnation. And now you are alive. You experience fear and hope and uncertainty. You wake up not knowing what the day will bring. That is terrifying. But it is also wonderful. That is what living actually feels like. The students were quiet. They had never thought about stability as a kind of death. They had never considered that chaos might be a form of life. After class, Velquin found Junho in the hallway. The old arbiter moved slower now. The stress of the past year had aged him. You changed everything, Velquin said. The galaxy will never be the same. Is that good or bad? I do not know yet. Ask me in 1,000 years, Junho smiled. If humans are still around in 1,000 years, we might have changed everything again by then. I believe you. Velquin paused. Your student asked if you regret the crash. You gave a complicated answer. May I ask for a simpler one? Junho looked out the window at the stars. Ships moved between trading stations. Numbers flowed across distant screens. The new market hummed with chaotic energy. Humans have a saying, Junho said. What does not kill you makes you stronger. The crash did not kill the galaxy. So maybe eventually it will make the galaxy stronger. If it kills us instead, then at least you will have died fighting. That is better than living forever in perfect, boring safety. Velqueen made the bubbling sound that passed for laughter among his species. You are a very strange creature, Kung Junho. I am human. Strange is what we do. Cross 800 worlds, beings who had never known uncertainty slowly learned to accept it. They built new businesses that planned for failure. They created investments that expected volatility. They taught their children that the market was not math. The market was people, and people were chaos. Some species adapted quickly. Others struggled for generations. But all of them, eventually, became a little bit more human. And somewhere in the great black between stars, the hybrid market continued to pulse with unpredictable life. It rose and fell like breathing. It crashed and recovered like a heartbeat. It was messy and imperfect and occasionally terrifying. It was also finally alive. The universe had changed. Humanity had changed it. And in the end, that was what humans did best. They arrived somewhere perfect, broke it completely, and rebuilt it into something that could actually survive. It was not a gift everyone appreciated, but it was the only gift humanity knew how to give.